listen and chime in because, to be honest, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty this week.
Nothing wrong with that. You enjoying it? Are you enjoying the new one?
Yeah. I have a core group of guys we play with. We just grind zombies, and then when we get tired of zombies, we'll just chill and do multiplayer and grind camos. And
I've heard it's the best one in recent years. Pretty much general consensus, like very fairly said.
Yeah, and Treyarch did this one, and Treyarch usually does really good on their stuff.
Mm-hmm. I was a big Black Ops 3er.
Yeah, that was one of the better ones, and I think that was Treyarch as well.
That was the wall movement.
Yeah. I like Cold War. That was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, I was big into it growing up, man. Before the day of the internet age, where you could snake crawl and stuff. Oh man, I could get into Call of Duty.
When the only co-op you had was the one right next to you, plugged into the same console.
Oh baby, now we're cooking.
Split screen. GoldenEye 007, you're cheating on looking at your opponent's screen.
All right, now we're gonna age ourselves out quickly. People are gonna be like, "What was that game?"
Yeah.
Odd Jobs hat.
Well, we were just talking about it before we started recording. Let's go into this one because it seems to be pretty hot topic. Pateus, Player of the Month SBC. It's priced about 1.5-ish, 1.45 million. Is anybody doing this one? Wise, are you doing it?
Or Paul even.
Oh, did I just say Wise?
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah. There'll definitely be people out there doing it. And like I said, we were just having a bit of a chat beforehand. It seems like a lot, but it's out for a month. And it should be expensive, really. You look at our other cards on the market, and they're not cheap. A gold's rebounded again now because people were sort of panic selling a gold. But yeah, I think if I wanted to do the SBC, we're getting decent rivals rewards every week, decent champs rewards, you can probably get that SBC done in the month. We have the same conversation, don't we, when we get like Mbappe player of the month or something. You can't make it too cheap because the last thing I want is everybody to have this card and be facing it in every other team. But I won't be doing it.
Yeah, for me, it always comes down to everyone's getting some degree of fodder and something untradeable. And I think that level varies, right? Like, depending if you buy store packs, depending how well you do in champs, and how much you play during the week. Like, some people do squad battles, champs, and rivals, which is crazy, for one thing. But some people have a good chunk of fodder. But the only thing that I would say about these types of player SBCs is, like, people are so happy to do hero and icon SBCs at a gamble, and they'll, like, literally with a smile on their face, spend 350k on it without hesitation, and do that 2 times. That's 700k. That's half this SBC done. So, yeah, I think you kind of fall into EA's trap if you're doing all those gamble SBCs and like not choosing to do big players, because this player in theory improves like 95% of teams. Where an icon SBC or hero SBC is, I honestly think is probably like 30 to 50% make it into your starting 11, I would say. I think it depends on the person, but icons probably higher than that early, but heroes are really bad right now. Like, there's so many heroes that are not good enough to make it into teams.
Yeah. I've done 3 hero SBCs now, I think, and Joe Cole was the one that I packed that's gone into my team. The other 2 are not getting close. But you're right there, Jake. People will quite happily, and I've seen it. I see these icons that people have packed and are forcing into their teams because they've done the gamble SBC. But that's a lot of fodder. And I always think when I'm thinking about doing an SBC, a player SBC, like, I do compare it often to the gambles. Would I be happy packing that out of one of those sort of gamble packs? And if you did 4 or 5 gamble SBCs and you got a Pateus out of one of them, you'd be quite happy, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good way to phrase it.
I'm such a shitty host, by the way. Jake is back, for anybody who hasn't noticed yet.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back, Jake.
Thanks for having me,
Happy to
boys.
have you.
I think the plan is to be on here occasionally, so maybe you don't even have to say that. Maybe I'll just be here sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the wind.
Once you
just
stop
here.
getting the intro, you become a regular.
That's great news.
Part of the furniture.
And Wise just slid in the back door here. Wise, welcome. I can't hear you very well.
No, I can't hear otherwise.
I heard him just. There you go. That sounds hotter.
You guys still struggling, the regular co-hosts?
No, that's all right. That's okay,
Okay.
now.
Yeah, it's better. You good?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Wise, Wise, we were just talking about Pateas, SBC Player of the Month. Have you completed it yet?
Yeah, that's actually why that's why I just slid in here. I was too busy grinding the Pateas.
Grinding right before you slid in the back door?
Exactly, right. No, but no, I don't think I will be doing that card. I am not a big enough fan. I mean, it looks good and happy that they give us something to grind towards, and my fodder looks nice, but besides that, no thanks.
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
It's definitely not for me.
Mm-mm.
But what about the Trailblazers team, too? Because this is something we haven't talked about. We talked about Team 1 the week before. They gave us a rush objective to play with these cards. I packed a few of them, the lower tier guys, probably your discarded players. But has anybody tried some of the better ones? Damn.
I'm checking. I'm taking a quick peek on who's in team 2 that I've tried. I always try out some new players if I'm trying to trade with them. Dembele, the Trailblazers Dembele I tried. He's super comparable to Vinny
Really?
because they gave him that good play style. So he's like super comparable to Vinny, 100%. He's got quick step plus now. So I would literally say he feels super similar to me as Gold Vinny. So it's another option.
Wise, didn't you just pack Vinny?
I actually did. I did pack Vinny. Packed
Trailblazers
that was
or gold?
No, the gold. Right before he went out of packs. I wish it was the Trailblazers. A nice 5 mil would have gone a long way, but no. I always open your rivals rewards unless you're Paul and can't find them. That was a nice.
It's still raw, Wise. It's still raw. It's too soon. Too soon.
Did you ever get your rewards?
I've still not got them, no.
Yeah,
No,
there's
they're still investigating.
There's a healthy chunk of people missing rewards, no joke, for real. I'm not kidding. People in Discord are like, I still haven't got it, which is crazy.
That's
It's
crazy.
been a long time, almost a week. They might double up on them.
Right, like that reward.
Yeah.
That reward's miss was hilarious, and then charge him interest, Paul. But then the Hey Jude not being in everybody's, the Evo not being in everybody's thing was, or not in everybody's club was also hilarious on Friday. But bringing it back
That's
in.
still ongoing too, isn't it? Am I right? Some people haven't
saw the
claimed that?
people. At least the people I know have it. Otherwise, or like they logged out over a couple of days and came back in and it was there. But that was what it was supposed to drop on Friday for people.
Yeah, I guess this is a working fix to that. If any listeners still have trouble with the Hey Jude Evo, I tried it. I had someone confirm this work for them, but if you you have to be on console to do it. But if you buy a player off the market and you don't assign them, and then if you back out of the game, it'll kind of send you to the store and they'll say you have to deal with these items, and Hey Jude will pop up every time if you're on console, because it's basically you're trying to get the game to animate you have something waiting for you, if you've seen that type of animation come in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hey Jude populates in. So if anyone needed still to do it, because I heard that was still ongoing and that's a very special workaround. I don't think that's resolved.
No,
They're
that's good to know.
actively investigating.
Yeah. They're always actively. I'm actively investigating to bring it into Trailblazers 2. I really want to try out Grimaldo. I think that card's going to be good, even for 40k. There's two fullbacks that are around that 40 to 50k spot that I think are going to be really good, depending on your preference here. For me, Grimaldo, and then another one that, again, not everybody's cup of tea by any means here, but the Lucy Bronze, the Chelsea girl that can link to your Lauren James or whatnot. That card has some sneaky good stats that I think could be very competitive, and especially for. She's going for 50k on Xbox and plays PS. That is, to me, really great value. I want to try out, though. I do really want to try out the Luis Diaz. I was a little, the technical plus seems great, but it would have been fun it would have been fun if they just gave him a Trickster plus just to have another Neymar running around from the Prem.
Well, and the most hype card, I think, excuse me, from the team is this Marmouche. He's up 30k today when he came out on Friday or Saturday or whatever, he like was stuck at 230K for a while, and then he rose through that. Like he went all the way up to 300K that afternoon. He's like the most hyped card on the team. I know he had he had that potential to get like a mask on him. I'm not sure if you guys saw that potential
Yeah, that was
dynamic
cool.
image,
That
which
was
looks
nice.
sick.
Yeah, that was really neat.
But he's super hyped right now. Like I think that what did they give him? Finesse plus, I think.
They gave him the Power Shot Plus, so he
Power
got, like,
Shot
just
Plus, yes.
so OP for the higher end players.
Yeah, so he's probably the most hyped card on the team. I think hyped / affordable card. I mean, always like a Vinny is hyped and stuff, but 1% of people can't hype a card that much.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it in the past couple. Sorry, Paul, a little point here. But I feel like EA are starting to shift our focus away from Serie A, and it's like, all right, well, is Bundesliga going to be next? Is Liga going to be next? So that's why it's important to maybe take a look at some of these promo players from these outside leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Paul, what were you saying though?
No, I played against that Marmouche this weekend and got absolutely destroyed. Once by a guy just smashing power shots, and he's just so strong. Like, I really, really struggled, even with like Saliba, even just breaking the line and rebounding through. But going back to bronze, she's got Anticipate Plus, which is really nice. Maybe lacking a bit of pace for some, but she'll be a really good card. She had some decent cards last year that held the value all year. I'm surprised she's still only 40k, but I suppose she doesn't link to that much, does she, at the moment?
No.
Yeah, I still think the female cards get a little bit undervalued, kind of like Wise was saying, like bronze. And then last week was Stanway. She went down to like 31k. I think literally at bottom. Like I was like, this card looks super good for 31k. Like, is no one like looking here? Because I know there's smaller midfielders and stuff, and there's kind of issues there. She's up to 38k, so clearly like people have determined kind of the same thing. Like she's up to 40k almost. That's a really big rise for that kind of ROI and that kind of price range. But yeah, she's 39k, and her stats looked insane. I mean, she's Hullet Gang, 89 dribbling, 4-star weak foot, and got down to 30. So bronze could probably have a similar effect, I would assume. And she's English, links with her directly.
Yeah, that both her and Hemp last year both had really good cards, and I was surprised when I saw how cheap Stanway was. I did buy a couple, and because I just thought, like you said, 31k just seemed ridiculously cheap for her. But yeah, you can make a really nice team actually out of some of these sort of cheaper cards. Stanway, Hemp, bronze. It's good to see.
What about Trinity Rodman? I've been eyeing up that card. You guys are pretty well versed in the market. Is it a good time to buy her, or do I wait until she's further along in the week?
I'm a little weary. I'll take a stab in here. I mean, she links to all of those great United States women SBCs that they've been giving us, right? You can't deny that, whether it be the Haran that just came out, couple that with the Morgan, the Swanson. She looks great, and the fact that she's close to 1 million coins, 900,000 on Xbox and PlayStation, over 1 million on PC, which is crazy for you, Hunter. I'm weary. I'm sure she's amazing, and I'm sure she feels really good in game, but how much longer is it before we start getting Evos that are serious about wingers? I know we got the Bag of Tricks one recently, and it's just, okay, well, if you can make a card even relatively comparable to this, and let alone a male card, I think the market responds very unfavorably to Trinity Rodman's price in a week or two. I can't see her holding that high. Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you guys have any other, Paul, too, but I really don't. I'm open to having a dialogue about it, but I don't like her long-term I don't like her long-term value.
Yeah, I think pretty much the trend we've seen is the really top-end cards are actually having a really hard time sustaining value. Like a really simple one that I'll point to that I really noticed well was Neymar. He's down like close to 200k out of packs within a week. Neymar Rush. He was like up to 1.2 mil at one point. Yeah, like almost 2 weeks ago, I would say. Like, yeah, it's under 2 weeks ago even, he was 1.2, and now he's 950k. Like, that's a pretty significant loss if you had him in your team for 2 weeks. You lost 300k on a card. That doesn't feel good. The high ends just have a little bit of a harder time, in my opinion, just retaining that value because every single week we're getting new high-end cards, right? Like that Neymar at the time was the best, but then we got Trailblazers 1, and that came with Holland and Kvara and Bonmati, and people that are our top end budgets can kind of swap their teams out quite frequently around those. I guess I would say Vinny, Dembele, etc. So they want to try that next best option usually. And then the low point, guys, for like anyone just listening, the low point for these cards has actually been Thursday at rewards. Like what happens is sometimes like the end of weekend league supplies, they'll rise from like Sunday night into like Tuesday, but then EA has been pretty consistently dropping like Gamble SPCs on Wednesday. But just their price can't sustain Rivals rewards. Even when they already look cheap going into it, they have dropped every single week on Thursday. So like if you want a time to try out a player at like a super like low to no risk, like Thursday is a good pickup time. So like for example, Pulisic, he was as low as like 190k Thursday, and now he's 250. Not all of them rose that well out of packs, and like Stanway was 31 on that day. That was the low point for them, was Thursday. They just can't survive that supply. It's way too big. Thursday's like the biggest supply day of the year. Not everyone plays weekend league, not everyone plays squad battles, but pretty much everyone I know is doing some degree of Rivals.
Yeah. How many games of Rivals are you guys playing right now? Are y'all still trying to get the maximum amount of points? Jake, are you doing that?
I did it 1 week. I thought I honestly was in an insane asylum, and I stopped. The 12 wins, I might try it, see if it's like a bit more feasible for me. 15 is too much for me, dudes. I have 3 little kids, so that's honestly like my thing is like. And then with trading too, like a lot of people that are grinding it, that's just the truth, really, really want the coins and the profit, right? So, but for me, just trading is more efficient, like time-wise even, so I wouldn't grind it for that reason, per se. It's mostly just if I'm like enjoying trying some cards or new players, or if I'm going to play more 1 week or have more time, or I lock my kids in a closet for a few hours or something.
Yeah, that's always a good method.
Page out of Paul's book there.
They gotta come out when it's squad battles time. They're getting so good at it.
Yeah. Are they world class yet, Jake?
Put them on beginner. My 4-year-old. I'm gonna get like definitely seized after this podcast. Rated.
Yeah. That Rivals was a lot, 15 games, and I did it most weeks apart from the week where I'd got 44 points.
Oh no.
Thought I'd got 45. That were the worst Rivals week so far. Well, I say were the worst. The worst one where I got 45 points and didn't get any rewards. But it's
The worst
lot.
so far.
The worst so far, yeah. But the weather's been a bit crap, so I've not been playing golf. So Rivals has sort of taken that slot, but it's a long time. And if you're just a casual player, you look at it, get the 5 wins, never mind the 15. And I think 12's better. I think it's an improvement, but I think it would be better with 15, 10 and 5 than, you know, if you're one of those unemployed homeless demons, you can get your 15. Somewhere in the middle, me, I'll do 10 maybe, and there'll be people out there who'll get 5, you know.
Did you just say unemployed homeless demons?
Yeah, I'll put my hand up. I stole that from Nick from the Foot Market. That's one of his.
Jesus.
Tuesday afternoon, unemployed homeless demons, and I thought that's absolutely describes some of these people I come up against in Rivals
Well,
on a
it's just-
Tuesday when I'm not at work.
You know, if you really dissect that name down, I don't know if it works. You know, like I feel like if you have to have access to some sort of electricity to be playing the
Maybe,
Xbox. So
maybe I threw homeless in there as well, but you know,
no,
maybe.
fair enough. Oh man. too
Okay,
funny.
so here's a really fair question for every single person then, and I'm just curious, like what do you guys, and this is always what I think is the controversial thing about the foot community, and I like to try to think of it in like kind of unbiased ways, but like what do you think is fair to ask for Rivals points or wins then? Each of you. I'm asking each of you individually.
No.
Because I get
I
15
think-
might be too much, but what is for getting the really good rewards they offer, which they are super good this year? What is the least games you would want to see won? Do you want everyone to get all the best rewards at like 6 wins, or what's your opinion?
No, I don't think we're foot socialists here, but I do like. I think 12 is actually not bad. I think that 12. I mean, the issue that a lot of the player bases have, and I think we touched on it maybe even the last time Jake was here, was the bands of which you're playing games, though, and the opponents that you're playing in terms of your competitive level is so much tighter now that, like, all right, we have an expectation of walking in and being able to win 3 out of 4 games. Now it's not the case, and so you're doubling the amount of games you might need to play. And in the past, like, 12 game, like, I'm gonna 12 wins. That might have taken me 20 games. Now it's or not 20 games, like, 18 games. Now it's taking me more than 20, and that's where I think the disconnected with a lot of people's feelings. So that's why I don't think it's unreasonable to have a 5 wins for people that don't want to put much time in, a 10 and a 15 for a scale there. If we have to do this one or the other ultimatum like they have now, I like 12. I think maybe if it continues to feel like, I'm humping a doorknob when I play these games, maybe we move that down to 10. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. 10 wins, not 10 games.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I was just curious because I'm like, literally, I think honestly, this is where people get in trouble. Is like, if you ask for too little, people will be mad about that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, I don't know what that set point is.
Yeah.
So I was just curious. That's all.
I do like the 15 wins as an option. Like, if I've got a week off work and I want to
This guy's a homeless gremlin for sure,
yeah,
100%.
exactly that. I'll be an unemployed demon for the week. I want 15. I want to be able to get that top quality rewards and play 15 games. I just think there needs to be something for those who don't play ridiculous amounts but play enough that they want to be able to. And we've had a few guys in our Discord who feel like 5's a bit meh, but would like something in between. Because it depends as well. You were talking about the amount of games there wise. Towards the end of the season, last week, I were winning
Yeah, it was winning a
more
lot.
games than I was losing. Like, I was flying through my games. But now we've got a new season, and all those really good players from the higher divisions have been put down into Division 3 and 4. I'm struggling now for those wins. So
Same.
I think it depends on what part of the season you're at as well. Like, it's tough at the moment.
I feel like where it is now is much better than it was when we started, because originally it was you barely play and you get shit, or you play your ass off to get the rewards. And the fact that they've given us some middle ground, which is what we asked for, is great for me. So I think it's fine where it is. But to Wise's point, skill-based matchmaking can make it a living hell. And then you get put in the position where I'm at, where I could have gone to Division 3 several times, but I refuse because I don't want to play fucking homeless demons or whatever it is, unemployed demons, every single time I log into Rivals. Because to me, that's what champ should be for. I think we need a casual mode, and even friendlies right now. So there's a problem in friendlies too, because everybody wants to play gold and goal.
Yeah.
It's rare that you even finish a game, and when you quit out, you don't get charged a loss. So you end up where I'm at, where you have like 50-something wins and 6 losses, and it goes off of ELO. So you're always going up against guys who are winning games nonstop. So even friendlies have gotten to a point to where it's a sweat fest. So something has to change. The skill-based matchmaking, I say it has to. It doesn't have to. People are still going to play. But for me to enjoy it more, I need some looser skill-based matchmaking, or else I'm just going to sandbag like I did all last year.
Yeah. I think, do you know what? Last year, Champs qualification, I felt was like really nice, relaxed gameplay like that. With just the mode where it would just chill. You played against all sorts of different types of players. It was quite easy. So it was just not easy, but a lot of the games were more chill. You could get qualification done. It'd be nice to have a mode there, but then again, you've got to think about the people who are just going to get stomped on all the time. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I just think it's tricky because it's like what people asked for so much over years was better rewards, and now that we have them, then it's too hard to reach them. Like, it's just kind of like, I really think we are a hard community to please, and I do stand by that. And I do think scaling the rewards, like you guys have all mentioned pretty much, is like doing a 5-win one, a 10 or 15 or something. I think that's a great concept. My main beef with actually like any reward system is more champs. Like I talk to pros and stuff that are getting DC'd and then they lose their rank 1. So I honestly think going like having a full 15-0, and I know that's a select group of people already, but I think with their own issues of disconnects and connection issues and just the server issues they have, asking for a full 15 wins is insanity in my opinion, just because it doesn't cover like a mistake.
Yeah, I'll say something brave here. I don't think that they should have. I don't know why we went down to 15 wins. I think that to your point, and I don't think that's actually brave. That's me being facetious. The margin of error, to your point, Jake, is so much thinner then, but it's not like EA has done anything to counteract the margin of error that they attribute to a player's weekend league, like you mentioned, Jake. A DC for someone like Tex or Nrasic is not their fault. So it's like, okay, when you had 20 games, all right, sure, maybe 1 or 2 losses and you're still up in the upper echelon. I think if anything, it should have been, 20 to 20, I mean, maybe even 25 games, but you just gave us an extra day or 2 to play it. Like, make Monday an ability to be champs. I get what they're doing now, trying to find the sweet spot of, and I like what they're doing with rivals there, and that's why I also don't think that, 10 wins, 15 wins would be too hard to achieve, because you can plan accordingly as a community. We just have that as a community perspective of I have to be able to do all of it all the time, and if I'm not able to do it all, it's not my fault, it's EA's fault, and I'm missing out on it. And it's like, no. Time management is an individual skill that you have to learn. But no, I agree. I think you brought up an excellent point that it's just, it opens up EA for more flack because they did something they thought was better for the players, reducing the amount of games we had in Weekend League, when really, all right, well, what are you doing to help us when you're at fault for us DCing?
Yeah, I just think I think it's tough for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it all over Twitter, like people who last year won every champs game. They just won every champs game. Now I'm seeing it quite often where they are losing 1 or 2, and like you say, whether it's a DC or just some BS that's caused it, it's. I'm surprised how many more I'm seeing who are not just like casually winning all the champs games.
Yeah, I mean, you
Absolutely.
see when they go to pro events and stuff, they play Swiss, right? And trading cards, I don't know if anybody's very familiar with like competitive trading cards, your Pokemon, your Yu-Gi-Oh, your Magic. Those are all Swiss rounds too, right? Like when you're playing against other and what you do when you have more players that want to play this competitive mode is that you add rounds to this. And sure, it takes on a little bit more time, but it allows you to really stratify who's getting lucky or who's getting unlucky, and like make skill a much more tangible component of it. And that's where, to me, it was interesting that they're like, okay, well, I get it. Again, 15 games was for us as users, like less time requirement. Sure. Awesome. I get it. But for someone at the top levels there, Tex doesn't need to take that's their focus. That's, Harry's focus. Like,
For sure.
That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
Bring back 40 games.
That's a brave take. There you go, Paul. Snaps
That's a
for
brave
Paul.
one. I think that's like a trendy, like nostalgic thing to be like, I was a part of that
Yeah, it's
era. I don't
definitely
think anyone wants that.
No.
It's 100%. Like if you look on Twitter right now, what's really funny is like people capitalizing off nostalgia. It's like, I don't think you guys remember the game. I don't think you guys remember the weekends. Like people are calling FIFA 19 a good game, and that was like the El Tornado Zlatan year. And I'm like, dude, I've never seen so much rage clips in my life. I don't think you recall what happened. Every year, everyone wants to claim it's the worst FIFA. Then in 5 years from now, people are gonna be like, "Remember EAFC 25? What a game! That was my all-time favorite."
You are absolutely spot on, Jig. I was just about to make that point. I was about to make the point where I think FIFA 17 through 19 is when us as a community really started to, or the community people that were gaining followers were really like, oh, I can shit on this game and and like people are gonna follow me. Oh my god, yeah, let's ride. And to your point, that's when they really took off with that, and it hasn't gotten any better since.
Inception.
40 games I'd never be able to do it now. I
trying to think
struggled
if
to
I
get
ever
15
played.
done this weekend just because I had stuff to do. I
mean,
back
I was the
to how I
prime
used to do
audience.
that baffles me.
I was the prime
How did we
audience
do
when I was
that?
a college kid.
I was young.
Yeah, I was in college, so like I had my weekends to do it. I'm trying to remember if I even ever played 40. That was crazy.
It did take up all of your weekend, didn't it?
Literally all of it.
I mean,
All
you're
of the
talking like
weekend.
you're talking like 6 to 8 hours minimum, pretty much, even with quitting. You're talking
Yeah.
like 6 to 8 hours minimum for real.
That was the year it drove me to stop playing. Like I quit playing the first year Champs was out and it was 40 games. I literally stopped playing the game midway through the cycle and never played it again until
And
the
no,
next week
no
came
one
out.
would blame you or be surprised.
It
No.
was so fucking miserable. Like I
Hunter's
hated
like,
the
I
game.
played. Hunter's like, I played 140 games this week. I'm tired, man.
Like mentally, like if you work full time like I do, you come home, you have wife, kids, you're trying to. It's just not the game is not built for you at 40 games a weekend. It's just not. You know.
Yeah, there were no rest between work. It was
No.
like, well, I finished my Monday to Friday job. Now I'm getting into my my weekend league.
Yeah.
And then come Monday,
Yeah,
you're exhausted.
Yeah, you just don't.
And you have to wait
can't- you
3
can't go to
fucking
work
days to
'cause
get
you
your
played too much
rewards.
FIFA.
You went into work. You're like, what do you do this weekend? I worked. I had another job.
Yeah, I've been grafting this weekend.
When's the last time you swept? You slept last year.
Yeah, so I do remember now. Actually, looking back, like those
I'm glad that
3
I
and
feel
4
like-
o'clock in the morning, like getting those last games done.
That's also ignoring the
was-
fact that there were some also incredible other video games out there right now. Like what Overwatch had just started to come out. I was incredible at Battlefield 1, like incredible. And it's just like, okay, there were other time sucks on the video game out there that happened. And it's like, man, where did we really find this time?
Yeah, Those were the
Modern
days.
Warfare 2 lobbies, man. Those kids couldn't handle those lobbies these days.
But yeah, all in all, I think that to summarize like kind of that little conversation is I think that it seems like it's really difficult to find a balance of asking for high level play and high amount of wins and then having the best rewards. I honestly think that's a struggle point that will always continue
Yeah.
because you can't give out the best rewards for nothing. And the community all want the best rewards, but they don't want to play for 15 wins. Well, then maybe 12. Well, then maybe complain again, maybe 10. And then it's like, oh, okay, that's too easy. Everyone has super teams. It's just kind of, it's too tricky.
Yeah, we've said it time and time again. You can't please everyone, and if you do give everyone great rewards, then everyone has the same teams, and the game gets boring.
Absolutely.
It's just one of those things that the game is, to me, it's driven by content. Because if we didn't have content, I don't think very many people would play this game very long because it would get very stale very quickly. The whole fun part about this is evoing cards, trying new cards, better cards, building your team up from the bottom to the to the top. But if they just gave everything all at one time, it's kind of like playing a game. Like when I was younger, I used to play games and you would find these cheat codes, right? And you put them in, you beat the game, and it's like, well, that was fucking boring, and you never play it again. So it's like, what's the point? Like
Like,
all
that
these
was
people
easy.
that cheat, it blows my
GTA
mind. Like why you
magazines, I
go
think
on
it-
and you have like auto green time shots and you're cheating to win games. Like, why are you doing this? So you can post a picture on fucking X that you fucking went 15-0? I don't understand the mindset there. But
And Matt says it all the time. If everybody's got a great team, nobody's got a great team. You know, there has to be something, don't there, for you to make a difference. And on that subject, Evos, I think they've done really, really well this last
Yeah.
couple of weeks with Evos. I've got some absolute blinders now, Bradford City cards, which I banged on all last year about not getting decent Bradford City cards, and now I've got 2 that I can use in my team and are comparable to sort of promo cards, like half decent promo cards, which is so nice.
Yes. If anybody, people should get involved in our Discord. Absolutely. And if anybody was in that Discord, they saw that I asked people to list Pobegas so many times in their general chat. So many Pobegas. I can inform the lot that I have acquired one. I acquired another one too, just to flex on people. But
You're like, anyone want this?
Yeah,
$20
right.
bucks.
yeah,
Yeah, it just
exactly.
goes on Twitter.
Yeah, they got to beat out the bots for it, and I doubt they have the fingers for it. It's exciting though. Like I like the fact that there's a component of this now that is exciting, Paul. Just to build off your point, like I'm excited to get this Pobega. That said, it made me play Rush. The Rush tards are still out in force, so that hasn't changed. But no, I really enjoy the aspect of it. And why do we think that's so cam? This is just an opening question. Why do we think it's so cam and midfield focused at the moment? Like what's the rationale there?
I wish I was going to actually talk about that because it seems like everything is midfield. There's hardly any defending and attacking. I don't understand it.
I think that EA just do that honestly super intentionally with just like how they moved everyone to Serie A and NWSL teams all at once. I think the same thing with how they attack Evos. They literally just say like, "Hey, I'm going to devalue the whole midfield market at the same time." It's the same exact thing. And then like if you had a different midfielder in your team that wasn't an Evo, they got slaughtered. And that's how they can devalue your team. It's just I mean, I used that example with like Bremer for Serie A. When Turam came out, Bremer literally had a PR update needed. He went to like 75K. Yeah. Like a week and a half later, he was literally fodder price. They killed him. Like people lost 50, 60,000 coins on that sale. It was crazy. Yeah, and I think it's the same now with midfield. Yeah.
I lost 100k on Warren Zaire Emery. Like he was 300 and something k. Bought him for my team. Get a couple of decent Evos, and he's 210k all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. How many people have lost that amount of coins on cards in the team? You know, you've got 3 or 4 cards in your team, and you're losing that amount of coins. It's ridiculous, and it works for EA because people need to re-up. But yeah, it hurt that one.
And then I think from my experience too, what I've seen honestly is I think EA really win in that situation because people hate losing coins on their team a lot. Like they really hate it. So then what happens is they're saying like, I don't want any more tradable cards in my team. And that's literally like EA is like just cheering in their office when they hear that. They're like, yes, like you're going to just be spending on untradables this whole year. That's where we want you. So that's super intentional in my opinion.
Yeah, it massively people stay away from, and you see it in our Discord. People, are nervous about buying tradable cards for the team. People, and it has made people more interested in sort of prices of cards and trading a little bit. Not necessarily trading, but prices of cards and when's this going to drop? Am I okay to buy it now? Where I think a few years ago people just went out and bought cards for the team. That's not the case anymore, I don't think.
What about SBCs, Paul? I'm going to shift gears here because you mentioned that in your little show notes. I was just going through them, and we talked about Pateas already, but do we feel like we're getting enough player SBCs in the right positions?
I think there's been a bit of something for everybody, hasn't there? I think that Haran, decent looking card. Yep. Thorvin, Keane was a bit, I don't know about Keane, but a lot of people seem to have him. I'll tell you what, a lot of people have got Lua. I've seen Lua in a lot of teams this weekend, and he seems decent. I know he's lacking a bit of pace, but if people know how to use him, he's a really good card. I could do with a nice fullback or 2 SBC. I know we've got Di Lorenzo, but yeah, they've been okay. But I think there's been a lot of cards that have been really low-rated requirements, so people have just been able to go out and do them with the 81s and 82s and 83s they've got in their SBC storage, and I like that. Sissoko's a big SBC that a lot of people have done, and then gone and done the Evo, that long ball plus. People love that. French links, so he's not a nightmare to link. People are gonna get him. Well, people have got him in their team. I think I've seen him more than any other SBC. I think over this weekend.
I saw Musiala in Rush quite a few times, and that card was slapping. He was cooking a lot of different people. The way he dribbled on the ball, the skill moves execution was just rapid. I couldn't get the ball off of him with anybody. Yeah. Have you guys mentioned or come across Musiala yet? Wise?
In Rush, I've only seen him in Rush. I played with Musiala's gold card in the first couple iterations of Weekend League and Rivals, just because he had the Shadow Striker plus, and I was playing the 4-3-2-1. He's an interesting card. If you like to dribble and you like to close control, like left bumper or the bumper dribble, he's really, really, really good for that. To Paul's point too, don't be deterred about the amount of squads that you have to do to complete him. It's a lot of low rated fodder per se here. But no, I mean, if we're going to continue to shift to the Bundesliga, I think maybe 500K could be worth it. Personally, though, it's difficult to walk this line of like, all right, are we going to get a Bundesliga cam in the next promo that is, closer to 100K to 50K that can do it just as well? That's the risk you got to take. But no, I mean, I think people will really enjoy the fact that he's got the 5-star skills. This probably helps with that execution, like you said, in the 4-star weak foot. Pretty comparable card. The only thing that would have been done better for him is if he had another shooting playstyle besides chip shot. That would have made him really OP, I think.
Also, too, I want to remind people about the Sissoko SBC. You still got 2.5 weeks to knock that one out, and it's
you got
20-something K.
Everybody's got to do that. You have to do that SBC.
Yeah, because there's going to be an Evo that, I mean, he already fits into one or a few right now, but with the evolutions. So it's got to be another one that he's going to be fitting into here eventually, and that card is going to be gross. Like in the Evo Lounge right now, I've been using him and that Turam card that they gave us an SBC for. It's disgusting how good that is with those two, like, just massive CDMs just sitting there in a 4-2-2. Nothing gets through, and it really makes for a pleasant experience against the Rats.
No, I mean, it's an unpleasant experience when the Rats have that as their two CDMs. But no.
Look,
but no, you're right.
Rat's gonna rat, and I got to be a rat to get to the Rats.
Got to think like
Can't
a
beat
rat.
him, join
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, no. That's a great point, Hunter. They're really good.
It's a good pairing, though. A lot of good pairing, good links.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing EA has done is they have dropped some really good cheap SBCs this year. Like, who's going to complain about that? Like, that's that card could start for like 95% of people, and it's cheap.
But they've done a good job of it. Where I think I will give them some credit about the, power creep in a game like this is always so difficult to navigate because, again, we think about it. This game's been out to the general public for 5 weeks now, like maybe, and it's just like, okay. I don't want it to be a case where everybody's expecting to have 90 overall teams. Like, everybody's position players should not be 90 overall yet. Like, I like the fact that a 85 Thuram and an 85 Sissoko are a pretty decent center defensive mid combo, pretty attainable in that nature. So as I look and try to build my squad, sometimes I got to think about that, where it's like, okay, I'm tempted to really go all in on one X, Y, and Z position, but it's like, okay, no, maybe we don't spoil the plot just yet on that. And especially when I got 1.7 million from selling that Vinny, it's like, okay, we could really go ham on it. Or how are we going to do this effectively so I'm not losing the luster of playing this game and enjoying the grind and accumulation of players over time.
Wait a minute, Vinny were tradable.
So
Oh
they actually
my
didn't
goodness.
give you they didn't give you your rewards. They just gave them to me. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Dude he hit FIFA lottery.
I did. I absolutely
He
did.
did.
I had been cooking in the. I had made some pretty smart investments this past week and stuff too. I doubled down on. I had a bunch of John Durans for like 20K. Doubled down on him when he was 16K, and we have been absolutely enjoying it. So, that 1.7 was a nice cherry on top to continue to help with these investments.
Really,
Very
I
nice.
appreciate the heads up on that trade, Wise. Thanks.
Yes, yes. My bad.
I must have missed that DM.
Yeah, maybe if you guys would have paid more attention to the trading Discord. No, just kidding. On our Discord, which is funny because I actually have not posted in there, so that's on me. But Paul's always doing great work. So, listeners, get into our Discord there.
And that's twice already.
I know.
Yeah. Paul, you wanted to talk about the FC Pro Open.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it this weekend, mostly for I want, sitting there watching it on the
What
on the
were you,
TV. I'd sort of had it on my phone in the background
had
as
it
I
on
was
his
playing.
He's like
channels.
cheering.
Yeah, I've got my Anders t-shirt on and I'm giving it all this. But the rewards for watching were unbelievable. I think you got like
100K
Two-
back at max, right?
100K pack, 2 mega packs just for linking your accounts.
Did you actually get them?
Yeah, I got them. Yeah, I got them before I got my Rivals rewards. There were some different teams in there, which I'm always interested to see what people are using. Tex always comes out with some random players in his team, which I like. I think Tex were using the Robbie Keane hero. One or two people had Stanway, I think, because they had a draft budget, didn't they? I think of 7 mil, and most people just went and blasted that on Mbappe and an icon. But lots of 5-2-1-2s flying about, and yeah, people. It's a tough watch sometimes. If you're not invested in any other players, it's it's not the most fun to watch. But I watched it anyway.
Yeah, they
Yeah, I
lost
saw
me a
some
long time ago.
Some people were doing like Ariel plus again, had Drogba and Morientes, a couple of them.
Yeah. Drogba were dunking. Like Morientes, that's another one that I saw quite a few people using. It's very, the competitive scene seems very similar to last year, doesn't it? Like throw it up there, somebody will nod it down. And somebody will slap it in. Lots of long ball plus.
Sounds exciting.
I feel like the FIFA competitive scene is just like screwed. Like honestly, like I just mean in terms of if there's a way to abuse a mechanic, those are the people that are going to know how to do it best. And that is their job, literally. But it makes the product incredibly hard to watch. So I don't really know what they could do about that. Like honestly, I think their best transition would be doing something like a pro clubs or some rush tournaments to have like a lot of like banter and camaraderie about the gameplay and stuff, because it's just like if you're playing as an individual, you're gonna abuse corners, you're gonna pick VVD and run to the like take a power shot, try to get a corner type of deal. It's just like, and they should, there's nothing wrong with that inherently based off trying to win.
Honestly, that
so like
actually,
what I don't know what they should do.
That's a hilarious idea. They should for like a lose, because to your point, it's when it starts getting to the point where it's like one and done, and they're waiting to fill time in between. Waiting to fill time in between matches, they should have like a rush, like a consolation rush bracket where there's like, your team is like the first 4 people that lose, the next 4 people that lose, you're on that team, and you just go in there with whatever players they want, open up the card pool, and just
It's
have
like the gulag for foot.
Yeah, have him. No, I mean, sure, maybe like I don't know. Maybe I could have him get back into the bracket at the extreme, but also just to do something with it, lower stakes, but maybe have them be able to win some extra prize pool. I think that would be a good way to show off this new mode. To your point, Jake, in a lower environment where they can just chat about it, whatnot, have some fun, do some crazy stuff, get some clips, get some engagements, have some laughs, low stake.
And guys, here's
Multiplayer FC content bangs as well. Look at, is it Gurf and Turf last year were playing?
Oh yeah.
Clubs. They got Wayne Rooney involved, loads of other different people involved.
Yeah.
And that content, I saw it absolutely everywhere. And I've never watched any clubs content before in my life, but it was fun. I think if you get decent players in, maybe mixed with some content creators, like that would be absolutely phenomenal. Especially now we've got Rush. It's the mode to do it in, isn't it? But it just seems a bit. I'm not saying there's not many characters in the pro scene, but like Anders doing a couple of celebrations seems to be like the peak of the broadcast.
Yeah, homie's not shaking hands.
Here's my idea, guys. I've actually told you this directly before, so I want some credit for it when they do it, because I think they got to do it. I want to see all the pro players, and I think this would be more successful than the tournament itself. I literally think people would care way more about this than the actual tournament. I want to see the 16 best pro players all draft a team where you can only one person gets the card they draft. And I want to see a snake draft style. So every team is different. Every single team is different. And I guarantee foot players would want to see who they're picking. Like, oh, if I can't have Kyle Walker, then I'm going to pick him. Well, then if I can't have him, I got to pick him. Like, I would be so intrigued to see what the teams look like and the difference of them.
That's a great idea, because for me, when I'm watching these pro events, them showing the teams and explaining the teams is like what I'm there for. I'm really interested to see who they're using and why. So I think that'd be great content.
Yeah, it also could be a separate invitational too. I think that to your point, like, because I get, we all understand why They want the level playing field. They want it to be as similar as possible. So like it's skill, but again, there's 11. You're only controlling 3 players at the most. So there's 8 other AIs going crazy on it at any given time. But I agree with you that I like the squad diversity, and that aspect of the game has been neglected for so long. That is also a skill in and of itself. How can I make this game plan based on the fact that I have to anticipate what other people are going to do in a draft? So I that piggybacks off the foot draft aspect that I've always think that we need to overhaul. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
They could even, I guess, air the draft process itself. Not even just the
That's
game
what I'm
hype.
saying.
Yeah, it gets some huge hype. Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
I
probably
think
tune
people
into that.
would be more interested in the draft than the play. I
Probably so.
genuinely
Yeah.
mean that.
Yeah.
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 No,
And I would. I would watch that.
I also like
Yeah.
what they did. Do we just as a side caveat here? I liked what they did last year, where they had the specific dynamic players tied to the pros. I really enjoyed
yeah.
that. I
Yep.
hope they do that again this year. I forgot when that dropped time period wise, but it was it was in November, right? Like, isn't it this late of this
Yeah, I
month
think
or
those
something?
purple cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Samakin was one of them or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Koulibaly went crazy.
Yeah, this were the qualifying for that, I think. So I think
Okay.
the next part of the process will be that, I think, and they've already got people engaging with it already, haven't they? So, but that draft idea would be good. Sort of midweek, tune in, see who's picking who, get the pros in there explaining why, and do it on stream. It would be great.
Yeah, I just think they got to make it a little bit more immersive. I don't think anyone's signing on for a few hour stream to watch every corner kick glitch goal. I just don't believe
No.
that.
No.
No.
Even for awards, I don't do it anymore. It's just not worth my time. Speaking of time, we don't have much time left, and we should probably get into our Coin for Coin Colossus segment where we talk about the best player. Well, what am I saying? There's no rules. Talk about a player you've used this last week that you liked, that you hated. I don't care, but it's called Coin for Coin Colossus because it's cool.
Hunter's like, everyone give me props for that name.
It wasn't my idea. Technically, it was a friend of the show. So I'll just put that out there. Paul, we'll start with you. We'll go around the horn. Paul, Wise, Jake can finish it off.
Sure.
I'm going with Warren Zaire-Emery.
Is it because he dropped drastically when you bought him?
Yeah,
He's
I
hyping-
want everybody
he's hyping his
everybody to go
investment.
buy him. Yeah, no, he's already back up. I will say that I have got 7 of them on my transfer list as we speak. But yeah, great card. Does it all in midfield, sort of as a box to box. Scores loads of goals, and wins every challenge. He's not that expensive. He's about $250 now, maybe. Hopefully. But yeah, really, really, really nice card. Feels really silky on the ball as well with the R1 dribbling. Yeah, he's really good, solid card. He's got, I think he's 4-4. All decent stats, sort of pretty much across the board. PSG links. Go get him. I've got some cheap ones right here.
Paul rolls out
You
the
must
sleeves.
buy him
got
with
his-
shadows as well, by the way. He needs a shadow chem style on. I'm joking. He doesn't need a shadow chem style on there, but
If
yeah.
there was ever a pump and dump scheme, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
What
decent
about you,
card.
Wes?
Yeah. No, so I want to be that Pobega, but that my Pobega's not there just yet. The card that he was out of my team for a while, and I was very weary of buying him because the gold market is just so piss poor, right? But I was so mad at my striker. I'm trying to remember who it was that I tried to get to work. I think I even tried Adama up there. Adama's not a striker. Play him on the wing. Excellent winger, not a striker. But Chiesa. Yeah, Chiesa for you.
Oh,
Came
yeah.
back in, 30K, Hunter on him, beautiful. I mean, I think he's up to like 35 now. Again, I'm not advocating that people hold this card for a while. Like, his price is going to fall out of the floor at some point. But he's just too good for me not to play. I love him. There's, of course, the old Fiorentina connection to it, too. So, a little bit of that. Coin for coin, baby. Coin for coin, Colossus waiting room for me. The Nico Paz little Dybala regen that plays for Como, Argentina cam from
Oh,
this
yeah.
latest Trailblazer. He is perfectly poised to be in a spot for an Evo coming up that I think would make him very nice. I'm not saying to go out and buy a million of them, but I am saying that I kind of really like where he's at. 4-star, 4-star. Would like his aggression to be a little better, but he's been actually pretty tidy. Pretty tidy.
I haven't tried that card. I'm interested in him.
Yeah, no, he looks pretty neat. The old Real Madrid boy. I mean, he actually even might be on loan to Como from Madrid, so get out there, Madridistas.
What about you, Jake?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to look around. For me, I've tried like I try to try like pretty much every card I can. I'm just gonna give like a special shout out to Sophia Smith because I've used her before. She's not in my team right now, but she's like 85k right now, which is gross. I mean, I know she's got hammered in price lately.
You did. You made that tweet, right, Jake? The approaching cheap beast, which is so true that it's
She
crazy
is.
that she's
she was
only
340k 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the fact
maybe
that
a
she's
week
only
and a half
50k
ago.
more than Chiesa is wild. Like that card, yeah, Sophia. I might need to switch it up.
And
It's a good
she's like
shot.
a top 5 striker. Like honestly, I don't have any. And people always are like traders trying to raise their investment. I'm like this card's dying. This card's death. But I do not have any. I just think that card for 87k is insane. Like I thought when she dropped to 150k, I'm like okay, that might stabilize there. 125, I'm like okay, that's pretty good. 100, I'm like I don't even know how low this can go, but this is the best card in the game for the price, and I still believe that to be true. She's like 85k, and she's probably like a top 10 striker, maybe 15, but she is that good.
Yeah, she definitely raises my game. And like I said, I'm a semi-average player without Sophia Smith, and with her in the team, I'm an average player. So
Let's go.
yeah, she definitely raises the bar and does a lot for your team. With just the dribbling, don't even look at composure. I said it last year. I don't give a shit what her composure says. The card just finishes. She's quick. She stays on the ball. It's hard to get it off.
Yeah, her attacking
Super
IQ
good.
is really good too. I think that
Yeah.
sets cards apart this year, and that's what sets the higher rated above the lower rated, and she is. And we play her so much here in North America. Paul, do you ever see her in the EU?
Oh,
you
that's
ever
a good
see her?
question.
Not a lot. I think earlier on in the game you saw quite a bit. Not so much now. But last year when she's had a few special cards, you saw a lot because
Okay.
she was just phenomenal. She seemed to have like 150 pace.
She was so fast.
She seemed to just beat everybody for pace. And I know when I've played her this year again, she's the same. And when you look at the card, you think that she's not that strong. Like when you look at it in game, you just think, oh, she's quite small. She's not. But she wins the ball. She comes out with the ball a lot more often than she should do. Is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
She's
Not
got
to
that
mention, she's
sticky.
got First Touch Plus, which is crucial for this year's game, especially with all the fantastic animations that they keep adding to the game that really makes it authentic and heavy as fuck. But yeah, it does help having that First Touch Plus in the final third.
I need to give her a try. I did pack
Good.
her from Rival Rewards a few weeks ago, but sold her immediately before she started dropping. But I probably should give her a try.
You know what I did the first week of the game? And we'll end the show with this. I bought that card, and I slapped a Cosmetic Evo on it like an idiot.
Oh,
300k.
oh, baby.
Gone.
Oh,
It is crazy. I wonder. I wish
Weird
there was like
flex.
some. I wish that. Excuse me. I wish there was some data on people who like did that and like didn't really realize what they were doing.
They won't admit it. There's no way that many people would admit being
Yeah.
that stupid.
Wait,
I just did.
Brave.
Does it
we had a
show
lot of
you
brave
on the-
takes today.
does it show you on the card still that that's not first owner? So when you put the Cosmetic Evo on it, does it show you that it's not first owner, that people have bought it? Because if they have, I'm going to start keeping an eye out for.
No, it doesn't. So like if you bought the card and put the Cosmetic Evo on there, it does not put a first owner on there. So it's obvious to see the ones who were stupid.
Right, yeah. I'm going to keep an eye out for that a little bit more when I see some of the better cards that have had Cosmetic Evos put on them. Yeah.
It is what it is. Don't be stupid.
That's a great motto. That's a good finishing point.
Don't be stupid.
And make sure to go vote. If you're in America, go vote tomorrow.
Yeah, big
Do your civic duties.
Yep.
And anything else for the show before we go? Good. All right. Jake, it's nice having you again. Thanks for coming
Yeah, thanks
on.
for having me, boys. I'll be on occasionally.
Yeah.
Yep. And catch the rest of you guys later on. See you.
Yeah. The Bizzle.